Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, October 4th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple of quick clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time, but I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. Stock number one here, PLTR. A rough day today, not necessarily because it was such a red day, but because from a technical point of view, the price is now broken down below two very important moving averages. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level as it served its purpose for now. But the two main levels of support that were broken today were, first off, the purple line there, the 50-period moving average, and the second line being the pink line, the 200-period moving average. And even if you have just a surface deep understanding of charts, I'm sure you've heard of both those levels and you know that they're both very important levels. So to see that both of them were broken in the same day, like I said, just a powerful sign there on the bearish part. Now, granted, to be fair, the overall market's had a really bad day today too. But nonetheless, that it was a very significant level from a technical point of view. So on that note, if there is any sort of attempted bounce back upwards, the key level of resistance is now going to be that pink line there, which is just based on a foundational principle in charting. When levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So keep a close eye on that if there is any sort of attempted bounce. As far as levels of support are concerned, I'm just going to go ahead and use this line now since it's not really relevant. But next key area of support right there at $14.50. I'll change that to green to represent support. So if this movement continues in the downwards direction, $14.50 next key level of support. But yeah, overall, very rough day, technically speaking. Next one, ICU. Nice looking pattern here. So let's get this pattern drawn out. And I want to be very clear. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to imply that this is a great skill or anything like that. Whoops. Let me try that again. There we go. And I say that because when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So let me get this pattern first drawn out so we have our resistance and support, maybe make it easier to see. Let's keep it all one color. So again, resistance, support, big upwards move right here. If you golfers out there will make it a little bit more visual, put the golf hole down there. This would be a bull pennant pattern. So while nothing is guaranteed, is it plausible? Is it valid to think that if the price can curl back upwards, get to that area, and then get a break up through it, that break in of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a plausible scenario. Again, not guaranteed, but certainly something that could very realistically happen. So if you're somebody that likes penny stocks, you like bull pennant patterns, definitely keep an eye on this one. Next one, ALXO. Again, nice little consolidation pattern here with the key part of the pattern that I would call the breakout portion right here at the top of this little sideways movement at $7.90. So you can see last part of the day here, final 30 minutes, the price is knocking on the door, which brings about a very interesting situation for Wednesday. Can the price get up there and push through that level? That remains to be seen, but certainly an interesting dynamic occurring right there at 790. And then on the flip side of things, as far as supports and the consolidation, actually an interesting consolidation because it's got a slight little uptrend to it, which is always nice. Now, does that guarantee anything? It doesn't, but still puts a nice little twist on it when you can get some slow and steady movement back in the upwards direction during a consolidation. So all in all, big day, pulled back, but key thing here is that during the pullback, and this will mean a bit more to those of you that have traded for a while, but I'm sure those of you that have, you've seen gap ups, and then you see this pullback, but the problem is the thing just keeps dropping and dropping, becomes a massive gap and trap, but that was not the case here. It leveled out, has started to go back upwards, so now it becomes that much more plausible that maybe the breakout here is going to come over the next couple of days, so keep an eye on it. Next one, CCL, a relatively popular stock. I'm not going to call it massively popular, but popular enough where I think this sort of formation here could bring in quite a few eyeballs. And that being right here as a potential double bottom, with that bottom part being right there at $12.65. So earlier on in the day, came down here after the gap down, leveled out, tried to bounce, rolled back over right here. Didn't hit it exactly, but close enough. And the question mark here, so this was bottom number one. But now big question is this bottom number two? Is there going to be some sort of repeat in history where the price gets to move back in the upwards direction? That's the key dynamic here. And there are no guarantees, as I've said, and will probably continue to say, and that's why risk management matters. But again, is it plausible? Is it valid to think that maybe this is some sort of double bottom and that some sort of bounce could happen? Yeah, that's absolutely plausible. So assuming you're going to manage risk, then from a risk-reward scenario, you could be looking at a very nice upside potential reward relative to the risk being taken. But so if you like these sorts of potential double bottoms, certainly keep an eye on CCL. Next one here, AMC. And I will say, all things considered of just how bad and rough today was, AMC held in there very, very impressively. Now, nothing new has really occurred in terms of levels that I've mapped out in past videos. Still have the top of the channel resistance at $8.35. Still have the bottom part of the channel support at $7.80. But core point here being, it's really just kind of chopped around sideways. A lot of stocks today were putting in new lows, and not only new lows, big new lows, but that wasn't the case here. Not explosive, obviously, but again, when you factor in the bigger context of just how nasty of a day today was market-wise, overall, I'd say, AMC held up just fine. But this remains a key dynamic moving forward, all about this sideways channel pattern. Ultimately, who's going to win out? Are the bulls going to win out with a push to the upside, or are the bears going to win with a push to the downside? That's a big question mark moving forward. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online web class that I'm offering here in just a couple of days. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one here, LIFW. And one of these same scenarios that I talked about earlier on in the video where, I'm sure you've seen these things if you've been around a while, where there's a good solid move up and then the price pulls back. And at this point, it always becomes a question of, is this just going to be some sort of pump and dump? Is this thing going to just drop right back to where it started? And once again, no, this one finally leveled out. And in fact, as I speak right now, during the last 30 minutes, you can see nice little green candle here forming. So once again, same general scenario. You got the pullback, you got some consolidation. Now it becomes a question of, is this thing finally done going down, with 24 cents being that key level of support right there? Now, if you want to say, I'd rather look for a deeper pullback and keep an eye on that purple line right there, I can see that too. That would make sense. So it's really kind of just a situation of what do you feel more comfortable with? What does your analysis say in terms of what has a higher likelihood of being support, whether that be 24 cents or, again, that 50 period moving average? But the core dynamic here remains the same. Very, very nice movement up. Got the pullback. It did start to go sideways, which implies that this potentially could be some sort of bottom. So do we get the move back upwards? If you like these sorts of scenarios and you like penny stocks, then keep an eye on it. Next one, AMZN, Amazon. And like a lot of stocks around the market today, absolutely beat down in a hurry. But now it's presenting an interesting scenario here where potentially some sort of double bottom may be around the corner, with that 123.40 mark being the key level of support. Going back to the history of things, you can see this area last time the price got down there held very nicely. In fact, a very impressive bounce. Now, let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. If the price goes down here, am I saying that for sure guaranteed you're going to get the same exact bounce as what you did over here? I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is it becomes plausible to think that there could be a bounce. Again, let's say the price had never bounced from there, and I'm saying, hey, it could bounce from 123.40. You'd be very justified to say, based on what? What makes you think it could bounce from that level? But there's a track record of it happening here. So does it happen again? It's at least a plausible scenario to throw out there. If there is any sort of attempted bounce back in the upwards direction, then key area resistance to watch going to be all about that purple line there, 50 period moving average. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. And all things considered, again, I would say it held up pretty well considering just how nasty and rough today was. Unlike a lot of these stocks, we just saw Amazon, PLTR, those type of tech stocks really got hammered to the downside. So it's not like today was a masterful day for Tesla, but not nearly as bad as what these other stocks were that you saw. What I am going to do here is adjust this area of support up now that we have more data, looking like a more near-term level of support right there about 244.50. So 244.50 near-term level of support, with the next key level after that being down there right around 242.50. So 244.50, 244.50 and 242.50 going to be the main levels of support. If you want, you can just call this area nice little support zone right here. Now, if the price comes down there and drops below both those levels, that's where things start to get a bit sketchy, but we'll cross one bridge at a time because the price hasn't even tested those areas. As far as areas of resistance, still nothing new here to report. All about that 254 mark at the top part of the channel. In the very near term, key level to watch, I'd say, is that purple line right there. But assuming you care about more so the broad scope of things, then really, as long as the price remains below that 254 mark, and then the bears have pretty much drawn a line in the sand and they're holding their ground pretty well. But like I said, all things considered, I would say Tesla had a very nice day today. Next one here, AMD, and rough move here as the price has now come down to the bottom part of that channel, broken down below there. Now, to be fair, last 30 minutes here, at least putting up a fight. Nice little green candle. This is occurring on bigger volume. So potentially this is some sort of maybe leading indicator of some more strength to come. But also, to be fair, that is only one 30-minute candle. So you can't base an entire chart on what's going on with just one 30-minute candle. But nonetheless, first update that needs to happen is just based on a foundation rule in charting, stating when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So the very near-term level of resistance now on this one going to be right over here at the $100.25 mark. If the price pushes up through there, next key level to watch would be that pink line, the 200 period moving average. Again, just same general area. That was a level of support, as you can see right there. But when the price broke below it right there, you can see that level went right into acting as resistance right there. So two main levels of resistance in the near term. Again, $100.25, and then that 200 period moving average. In terms of next potential areas of support, key level to watch right there at that level, which sits at $97.80. So if this pullback continues, $97.80 will be that next key level. But yeah, overall today, rough day. But again, from as far as the overall markets are concerned, it's not like AMD was doing poorly and the markets were doing great. So just kind of the nature of the beast today. Next one, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe the NASDAQ market as a whole is going to rise, this one will also rise. Biggest difference here, it just allows you access at a much lower price point. So yes, NASDAQ had a very rough day today. Therefore, this one had a very rough day today. And as far as supports, nothing new, kind of same general idea in terms of what was it, I think. I can't remember. One of them I was throwing out a potential double bottom, but same general idea here. 3360 being a level where in the past price came down there and found support. So last 30 minutes, good solid green candle. But as I was just saying, one 30-minute session doesn't make or break a chart, but certainly a step in the right direction. But if this thing does roll back over, then that's an area where you could very, realistically throw out the question, hey, is the price going to bounce right here? I could see it bouncing. And once again, assuming you're going to manage risk, then from a risk-reward scenario, you could structure yourself a very nice trade plan. In terms of areas of resistance, yes, overall. In fact, I'm just going to, now that I think about it, this is so far out of range. I'm just going to get rid of that for now, and we'll worry about that later if the price, makes it bounce back upwards. But more so the near-term level, going to be all about that purple line there, the 50-period moving average. Same idea that I've been saying. This has been an area of support, but now that the price is broken down below it, you would expect it to act as resistance. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to go get signed up for that free class. It'll be very soon, Thursday, October 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as the top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, please do two things for me. Hit that like, leave a comment below. Tell me what you traded today. Tell me what you're watching tomorrow. The commenters, where did you all go? Let's pick those back up. Even if you just give me the number one or a smiley face, but comments really help out. Hitting the like button really helps out, and I thank you in advance. So go get signed up for that free class. Hit the like button, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.